This episode is brought to you by William Hill's Final One Standing. It's free to play, it's the ultimate elimination game. How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Fourever Arsenal podcast. Hopefully you're all good. Hopefully you're all well. Game week 1 out of the way, 3 points in the bag. But quite a bit to talk about here with the regulars. James, Lee Judges and Jordan back in the building. Lee fresh from Manchester. Jordan fresh from the AFTV watch along. James fresh. And
Just
I'm
fresh.
back, people.
Just fresh.
That's I don't know where he was. But...
Fresh.
Oh yeah, Granddad's birthday. Big up Granddad. That's where he was. Fresh from Granddad's birthday.
Well, happy
That's
birthday,
right,
Granddad.
Come on, happy birthday.
Nice. We had a nice day.
Can't beat the August born, James. Cannot beat an August born.
So I'm guessing you're born August.
I am.
Oh no. Is your granddad like him?
He's actually born July. We just had to celebrate it later.
Well, that's disgusting. Like, I mean, leaving your granddad so late and let him hang in for a couple of weeks. You should be ashamed, and your family, you'd have done it on his birthday.
Sorry, I was on tour with you.
You'd have missed the tour for your granddad's 91st birthday.
No, I should have. I know. Those 2 weeks with you told me that. I know, but it's fine. Here we
Actually, on birthdays, we was meant to go out for dinner next month, and someone's birthday is getting in the way of it. Or this month, sorry.
Yeah,
Wait,
as I said in the chat, as much as I love you, you know what I mean. I'd rather spend my birthday with other people. That's how I feel. Sorry about that,
You could give us an hour.
Yeah.
Surely.
Oh, let's do lunch then, you know what I mean.
We got the community. Hope you're good. Hope you're well. Comments of the day back again this week. So obviously that's a little heads up to the rest of the team that I haven't got a comment on.
I have a comment. There was a classic in there as well. When they're
okay.
James is laughing. He knows which one I've gone for, but it's a classic.
I've gone simple, but we'll go to the end. We'll wait for the end. Do it the usual way. I haven't got a prediction table yet, but it's only game week 1, so let the points pick up, accrue, and then we'll get the table on the screen, people. But do what you need to do. Hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Individual channels, Gooniverse 2. That's James. Lee Judges TV. That's Lee. Let's get him to 50k. Whisper It Loudly and World's Coolest Disabled. That's Jordan's channels, and obviously Turkish LD and the Big Six. Love for the lovers always. But yeah, 3 points. Not the greatest of performances, and a bit to talk about. Lee, you was there. So yeah. Usually we start with you, who tends to go to the majority of the games. You've gone semi-viral this morning. I'm seeing a little clip of you going about with a Jet 2 holiday music over.
I understand the Jet 2, you know what I mean? But it certainly weren't a holiday up there, you know what I mean? And if I did, I'd want my money back, you know what I mean? The hotel weren't very good. The natives were very hostile. You know what I mean? I want my money back, but
you've become an advert for the UK. Come to the UK and see yourself a Lee Judges going mad at the football.
Oh dear! Listen, I've got to say, fantastic banter that it was yesterday. It was fantastic getting in the ground yesterday. It was all good natured. I have to say that it was the Man United fans were up for it yesterday. They were up for it big time. They thought that their new signings, everything there, that they was going to win that game. You felt it when you went up there. It was the best atmosphere at Old Trafford for a really, really long while. Because I think went there the last couple of years at the back of the end of the season when they were a little bit down and things weren't going their way and they was losing all that they were really pumped for it yesterday. And I know we can get into the game a little bit later and everything like that, but I think that when you see the atmosphere and all that, to get away with a win in the end, I think was brilliant, because I'm telling you guys, they were up for it yesterday. The atmosphere was electric in there. I wouldn't say intimidating, because it wasn't Man United fans are not like that, but it was electric in it. They was rightly pumped for it, and rightly so. You know what I mean? They've made some fantastic signings. Only Man United, by the way, could make signings like that without European football, and I have to say that, like, you know, I mean, I couldn't see any other team making those sort of signings. Their front three is going to be dangerous in a few weeks' time. But the atmosphere was fantastic, and Arsenal fans fantastic as well, loud and proud. And it was a little bit like the old days at Old Trafford. I have to say that there was something spicy about the game, like, you know what I mean. And I think that at the end of the day, we get the result was the most important thing, of course, and we did.
Can I just jump in really quickly? I'm not going to give my take on the game. I want to hear from you guys first. But I'm looking over to my left a lot, which is I'm probably looking quite rude. I'm actually doing something I've never done on the pod before. I'm rewatching the game as we're talking.
Jordan, tell him how that goes.
I was just going to say, I mean, if I did that, I'd be getting absolutely crucified, you know?
Some people like to do extra analysis. Some people don't watch the game whatsoever before the podcast.
Just saying.
Slightly different. But I am really curious just to kind of take some of it in, knowing it goes well, if you know what I mean. Because I think so much of it is watched through the lens of, oh no, is this going to go wrong? Is this going to go wrong? But yeah, anyway, you guys carry on. I'm listening, obviously.
I'll just watch the game while you guys do the podcast. You know what I mean?
I can. Some of us can multitask, all right? Listen, you just go give me your take. Tell me how Gyökeres was terrible in your eyes. Tell me how that performances are going to win us titles.
I thought he was great. I thought Gyökeres was amazing. I thought it was 65 million spent really well. I thought we've got a golden boot there when they're coming in. I've got no problems at all.
Anyway, I need to get through this pod somehow, so I'm going to watch the game. You lot carry on.
You take a minute to watch the game. Before we get into the game, we all made picks. Final one standing. Game week 1, a chance to win 500k. We all picked the team last week, and you know, where are we at?
Well, someone's out. That's what I said.
Who's that someone?
Well, someone that's not smiling at this moment in time. 3 of us are smiling. One's watching football, but look at him up top there. He's you know what I mean? He's well at me. Like, he's got further than someone. Like, you know what I mean? So I want to know who he's out. I didn't realise anybody was out, but Jordan quite quickly reminded us. Me and James didn't know, like, you know, and Jordan was straight in there with someone being out.
I think this is the point to announce that everyone has made it through.
You changed. Oh, no.
I changed back to Tottenham.
You sneaky dog.
I changed back to Tottenham. It's here if you don't want the proof.
No, well done if you've done it, like, you know what I mean?
Hang on, Lee. You're going to give Turkish all the stick that you gave me on the last pod for picking Tottenham then?
Well, he's a scumbag, isn't he? Like, let's be honest, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was bad enough choosing Chelsea, like, you know what I mean? So
yeah, that's worse.
It is really, but like, it's even worse when he's gone back to the other the other one. Like,
I'm trying to win 500k.
Yeah,
I don't give a damn about.
And listen, Spurs were the banker. We did say Spurs were the banker. They were, and it was. You know what I mean? So, I you know, if you did change it, good luck to you, because like that. I thought Chelsea was a dodgy one anyway. I don't know why he went down that route anyway.
Yeah, I wanted to be different to you lot, and then at 11:30 Saturday morning, I woke up and just sat and told me, just go with your instinct, and I just changed it back to Tottenham. I said I ain't telling them lot. So yeah, we'll see where we're at come Monday. And here we are.
That was a smart shout.
Listen, smart shout. And that's a good thing about the game, that you can sort of change your mind and have a think about it. So
yeah.
Well done.
So we're all through, lads.
We're all through.
With me.
Oh, Jordan, why did you go and say that? Because I thought he was through anyway, like, you know what I mean? So
you got your hopes up.
It would be nice if one was not in, one was not in, like, you know. So, and really, it deserves to be you two.
Of course it does. Of course it does. But people, hopefully you're through. The community watching now that's taken part, a chance to win 500k. If you're through, you're step 1 to that 500k potentially. I'm still there. James is still there. Lee's still there. Jordan's still there. But if you missed the start, if you missed game week 1, there's another fresh pot start, and that pot is 50k. So for a chance to win 50k, you can still download using the QR code. There's a link in the description. It will be pinned as well. You download the app, you sign up, you put in a team. It's free to play, and yeah, if you win, if your team wins, you're through. If your team loses, you're out. It's pretty simple. Last man standing rules. Final one standing is the name, William Hill. So obviously we will be picking our game week 2 team later on this week when we bring out the preview for the Leeds game closer to the end of the week. Hopefully some transfer activity in between. But we're all through, people. We're all through. Hopefully you're through as well. And like I said, if you missed the pot for game week 1, the 500k grand prize, you can still enter, people. Game week 2, enter your team, free to play, 50k prize pot available. For a chance to win that, do what you need to do, scan the QR code.
Absolutely. Remember, it's UK and Ireland only. You have to be over 18 and always gamble responsibly. T's and C's apply with full terms below.
Yeah, that's it, people. We'll touch in again Wednesday, Thursday when we do the next show. And we'll get our picks for game week 2. It's heating up. I ain't even playing with these. I'm playing with the community. You know, I'm a community man, so I'm playing with you guys and girls out there. These lot can do what they want to do. We're trying to win that 500k. I don't know what these lot want, but yeah, we'll do what we need to.
Probably a good time to also mention we've got our Fourever Arsenal Fantasy Football League, which none of you guys have entered, but the great community out there have entered. So if those want to know the code for it, I put the code in the comments of the last episode. I'll drop it again in this episode. So if you want to join us, not too late, come and have some fun in the Fourever Arsenal Fantasy Football League.
Yeah, I'll join that. I've had a great opening week.
I'm bottom.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't. That's why I didn't ask. I knew.
What do you think that you are good at? What are you good at? Like, I mean,
stealing a living.
I've had a shocker, Lee. I've had a shocker.
Unbelievable, right? You don't actually put in your bio football expert, do you? I really do. You actually?
Lee, I've had a mare. I've set up like 5 leagues and I'm bottom in every single one.
Why does that not surprise me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know. How did you get a job at TalkSport? Can I? How did you blag that?
Oh man, it's so bad.
We'll buy his book one day and find that.
Yeah, it'd be like, you know what I mean? How to blag your way to a decent job in football, like, you know what I mean?
Forget buying your kids Rich Dad Poor Dad. Buy him Jordan's book, and I'm sure he'll make it, man. That's what I'm on. All right, cool. Let's circle back the game. Let's get into it while James finishes up with the highlights.
It's honestly, can I say, it's fascinating rewatching because the amount of things that I thought that happened later. Oh, I didn't realize that was so early. Or like Zubamendi getting like knocked in the face by Mbemo was 47 seconds in. Just kind of set the tone for the game. I'm so interested to hear your takes on this, guys, because just at a headline level, I was quite happy. Not even just with the fact we won. I actually thought the things in the performance I liked. But the general tone amongst the Arsenal fan base is delighted we won, terrible performance. Listen, I don't think we were good, but I actually think there was quite a lot I genuinely liked. So I'm excited to go into it. Yeah, I know. Well, go on, Jordan. You go first.
Oh, me first.
Yeah.
I think we got away with one. I thought we got away with one yesterday. Look, it's game 1, and I think there's definitely an issue regarding, you know, not everybody's up to speed with fitness. There's definitely lack of sharpness. I thought our passing was horrific. I thought the game overall was poor. So forget looking at Arsenal. As a game, it was an awful game with no quality at all. But talking about Arsenal, I thought our passing was bad. I thought our pass selection was really bad. First touches were crap. And I will give a little bit of grace for it being the first game of the season, going to Old Trafford. And obviously, I'm in the studio with the guys doing the watch along. We can't hear the atmosphere. But if what Lee's saying is correct, and that the atmosphere was really feeble and really on top, then those things contribute to maybe a little bit of nerve. So I will give them a little bit of grace in that. I'm not going to go too hard on the performance, but it was crap. It was crap. I think there's almost, I'm sure we will, but there's almost no point in singling out players because everybody bar Rare for me and a couple of subs were absolutely shocking. Saka was awful. Rice was disgraceful. Saliba was terrible. Gabriel had a really good second half, but first half I thought he was dog. The fullbacks were a bit meh. So I think individually, I think everybody was rubbish, right? Gyökeres, I thought was isolated, but I thought his hold-up play was poor. But I think he needs a few weeks to get up to fitness and get up to the levels required for the Premier League. I thought Odegaard in the first half was way too far away from Gyökeres and left him way too isolated. Gyökeres, I think there's a heat map going around that says he touched the ball in the box 3 times. Now, a lot of that is because he didn't get any service, but a lot of that also was because I think he wasn't getting the service. He therefore comes wide, he comes deep to try and get on the ball and just try and get involved and just try and feel the ball and feel the game, which I understand that's frustrating as a forward to not touch the ball. But I don't want that. I spoke about the comparison with Haaland a couple of pods ago, I think. I think we don't need him on the ball. We don't need him coming wide. I think we need him in the box. Let's get to you. You don't come to us. We'll come to you. And that will take a little bit of while to kind of get used to playing with him. But I thought we were generally poor. However, one of the 3 key things that I want Arsenal to do this season to win the league, I've got 3 main things, and one of them is we have to learn to be a thief. We have to learn to steal points. We are really bad at stealing points, and we stole 3 points yesterday. And you know me, I hate the cliche, sign of a good team is not playing well and winning. I think it's nonsense. No Premier League winner doesn't play well. But for 2 or 3 games a season, you have to learn how to be able to be out. You know what? We were rubbish today, lads, but we nicked 3 points. And I think yesterday we were rubbish and we nicked 3 points. I think United shaded it overall. They weren't good, but I thought they shaded it overall. But we got the 3 points and it's a clean sheet. You know, I love my clean sheet. So I thought we were awful. I thought we were terrible. Everybody was really bad, but we got the 3 points. Game 1 ticked off. Old Trafford ticked off. And we moved. But there are things that I'm concerned slightly going into the Leeds game that are more beyond just it's the Old Trafford factor. There were things I didn't like. There was no phase of play where I thought we were in control of the game. How many attacking patterns were there in the game, guys? Can you remember? I can't remember any patterns of play where we were knocking on the door and creating something. So concerning things for me, but I'm not gonna lose my head on game 1. We write it off, but we've got to be better.
Yeah, I lean more towards your thinking, I think, than what James might come up and say. Maybe Lee as well, having been at the game. Yeah, listen, I am worried, I'll be honest with you. But you do write it off as 3 points. The window's still open, and hopefully the club act, because I think as much as, the 3 points is all that matters come the end of the 90 minutes, there's 37 more games to go. And headed into that game, I think everything that I thought about, the lack of a couple names, couple positions, profiles, came to fruition in a sense that if we had those couple names, couple profiles, we would have flung them on yesterday at some point, because of how poor we was in the transition and attack. I'm with you. I think only Raya and Calafiori come out with any real credit for me. I add Calafiori to that because I think as much as Mbomo had space in that first half on the right-hand side, he never done anything with it. So Calafiori handled him well. And he got the goal. But aside from him and Raya, yeah, I'm struggling to give credit out. I think the deficiencies were there, laid bare for all to see. And as much as, yes, 3 points is all that matters, game week 1 is also a we are back game, right? And for Arsenal, I feel this season, we need to get that fear factor back. And that game kind of typified a lot of our performances last season, probably worse off in that our chance creation wasn't the best. We still come out with something, but there's still things to work on. So I'm not too...
Just the final thing before Lee and James come in. So it's a final quick point. One positive is the resilience. Despite us being absolutely dog, I thought we were crap yesterday.
I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you said it, Jordan. That needed highlighting.
The resilience, it gets to 75 minutes and you're just thinking, we're not going to play well, guys. Just get out of here with the win. Just hang on. I was next to Laurie on the stream yesterday and he made a really good, he's a boxing guy. He made a really good boxing analogy. He said, it's like when your fighter's in the ring and it's round 10, 11 and he's up on points, but the opponent is like punching him, and you're like, oh, just use the ropes, hug him, lean on him, just hang on. Just hang on to the final 12th round bell and get over the line. And I think that is worth praising. The resilience of just like, we are not giving this up. that I think is definitely worth praising the club, because I think that resilience 100% was something that I was impressed by. Just we're not going to drop points. We're not going to do a 1-1. We're going to get out of here with 3 points. And that I think does warrant some praise.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the resilience is it's become part of us, right? And it's something that we've consistently praised over the last 2 years or so, or just over. I think, it was more the other side of things we want to see. And even on that resilience, Man United had chances in that last 15, 20 minutes. I guess it was more on their poor finishing than it was on, our great defending in that game. Because Raya still had to make that save from Cunha, and that save was an amazing save. I think that save will be up there, saves of the season come the end of the season, and that's game week 1. For him to get down that low and get literally a fingertip onto that ball, that preserves the 1-0. And the Mbomo header, I think it was an easy save, more for the cameras, and there was a couple more things he had to deal with. But I've seen us be more resilient. I was seeing us lose the ball in the last 15 minutes at the halfway line, and then have United, attack on attack on attack on attack. So I think we can look on the resilient side of things, but where the hell was our calm it down football? Where the hell was our control? Where the hell was that side of things that we've become used to? Because this was United. This was a team that took it to us from the first few minutes. A team that's kind of got a new lease of life because of a couple signings. I just expected to see more from us in an attacking transition sense, and I just didn't see any of it. Like, the midfield was poor, the attack wasn't doing its thing, and then the substitutions didn't change the fortunes of the attack. It was just very stale. Defense up. Like, the defense does what the defense does, in my opinion. Like, we can rely on them. We know that now. And we was resilient to a certain extent. But a better team, I think we can all agree, a better team takes something from that game.
Yeah. But listen, the few points that I want to make before James comes in, individually we was poor, but we got the job done as a team. So there's a sort of structure in the team that can get you there. That was one of the pleasing things, is people turn around. I think we were so bad yesterday, just to win that game. That shows something. If you look at, let's get the facts straight. If we play a decent team, play like against Liverpool, we get beat. And the reason we get beat is because we give the ball away, and that was everybody from Raya to Gabriel to Saliba in the final third, and we didn't get punished from it once. That was one thing. Second thing I'm going to say, Arsenal probably ain't going to win the league if we get referees like that every week, who was totally ref the game completely different to us, to them. Completely different, every little foul he give them, every little foul of us, play on. I was a bit worried about that. I thought he was absolutely awful. The other side of it is you let Declan Rice give the ball away in the first minute on the edge of his box. I haven't seen that for a while, So individually we was poor, and yes, you get beaten by a better team, but I suppose at the end of the day, you can get away with it against teams like that. And as poor as we were, I do go back to that last 15 minutes. I said to a couple of people around me, I said, this 15 minutes will prove what Arsenal are about. And I thought that was when Gabriel come alive. That's when Saliba come alive. You know what I mean? I felt the substitutions, were good. Even though I felt Timber done okay when he come on. I don't understand. We got a corner with a chance to score with about 2-3 minutes left, and we play this is where I'm a little bit worried about Arteta and a bit too cautious. We end up giving away a free kick. Could have been actually a sending off on the edge of, on the halfway line. It's ridiculous, you know what I mean? Go for it. Sometimes you've got a chance to go for the goal, go for it, The other thing is, I didn't think we carved out too many chances. I don't think we could. And I don't know about you guys, and I don't like giving the man of the match to the goalkeeper, because it makes it look like we've been totally outplayed. And we weren't totally outplayed. I think we have to say we went 1-0 up, and whether you like it or not, maybe we played that way. We said, all right, you come and break us down now. Listen, I think at the end of the day, if you was a critic of Arteta and a critic of the way Arsenal play, you could delve into that and pick out a load of negatives. I think you can, you know what I mean? It goes without saying. But I also think there were some positives there, like that back four wasn't at its best for whatever reason. And somehow we managed to keep a clean sheet. I thought Raya, like, you know, again, sloppy with it when he got beaten, could have been a disaster. But made a couple of good saves. Was he really stretched apart from one? No. And I have to say, the one biggest glaring thing, and, you know, James, more with the tactical side of things, will probably go with it. I thought we were so open in midfield. Like, you know, they were picking up balls, running 20, 15, 20 yards without any contact on it. Away from home, that was a bit concerning. But at the end of the day, you know, the other thing that I would be a little bit concerned about is that Kai Havertz come on and had more touches than
he looked good when he came on.
Yeah, he done very well when he came on.
He did okay.
You're not looking for a goal from him then, are you? Looking at him to just keep possession, and he did but he had more touches than Gyökeres, like, you know what I mean? He was only on the pitch for half hour, where Gyökeres was isolated, didn't get the ball, and I think that's not on him as much. I don't think he's quite fit, but I don't think we play to his strengths. And Saka and Martinelli, well, you know what I mean, from an attacking force, you know what I mean, they just absolutely didn't do nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like, Martinelli done a little bit better on the defensive side of his game, but, you know, to get a result at Man United with so many players being so poor, I think you've got to take positives from, guys. I really do.
Let me pause the game for a sec. This is a fascinating rewatch, it's sort of only supporting what I felt going into this pod. But there's a reason I really wanted to look back a lot of it while I was listening to you guys talking. Firstly, I want to say something about Man United. And this is true. This isn't a Man United dig. This is true of every team. Opening day of the season is, you know, that guy who goes to the gym on day one, on January 1st, says, this is my year. I'm going to get really healthy. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get a membership. I'm ready. This is, and a lot of the time you see people, they're most motivated day one, maybe day two as well. The point is, Man United were always going to rock up super motivated, with Cunha and Mbemba arriving, with Sesko on the bench, with the feeling that Amorim's had a pre-season, with wanting to put right everything that went wrong last season. So despite the fact that they've got quality players, we were always just going to get, to a degree, an incredibly difficult Man United game. I think the worst times to play Man United was basically in these opening 2-3 weeks, or later in the season when they've gelled and they've kind of got together and Amorim's ideas come across. So I don't think we can look at them and go, yeah, well, last year they finished 15th, they were terrible, and it's kind of still the same team, and basically expect that we were going to walk all over them. I think we were always going to get a very highly motivated Man United side that were excited about their ideas. I don't know how their pre-season went, to be fair, but I heard it was all right. And it was going to be tricky. So I was always going to take any win to start the season just to get through it. 3 points, I think it was going to be difficult. But I have to respectfully disagree, guys, with some of you saying that it was sort of just, that there's nothing sort of, I appreciate the performance wasn't impressive. I agree we were sloppy. I agree we really were poor in terms of making the most of counter-attacking opportunities that we had. But I actually thought Arsenal were really up and down in this game. And by up and down, I mean up and down the pitch. We pressed really high. We chased all the way back. We were trusting our defenders, which we've been asking them to do. We've been saying, try be more expansive, because you can trust Saliba and Gabriel and Rice to cover, and Ben White and Calafiori. And we actually did that. We pressed them up the pitch. They played through us. All right, the press wasn't great, but we trusted our individuals to come through. And okay, we were a little bit lucky, but I actually think we've been saying that Arteta needs to open up the game a little bit more to give us more opportunities of winning these games where we're not quite at our best. And I actually think that's what we did. It came from a set piece. We got the goal early. But I'm watching it back. We were still pressing very high throughout that game. We just couldn't do it in the first half. I mean, second half, I think we retreated to what we know. But we tried to press. We tried to stop United. It just didn't really happen. We tried to counterattack. We tried to be quick. There's actually stats on this. I think James Benge posted an article saying that Arsenal, after a summer of planning for it, Arsenal played fast. In fact, their direct speed was 55% higher than the average since 22-23. I mean, Arsenal were trying to move up the pitch far, far quicker. They were trying to release Saka and Martinelli and Gyökeres. We just didn't execute it. But I actually think the intention was good. And then, when ultimately our attacking football wasn't coming through, every player to a man fought for the badge and threw themselves in front of absolutely everything to try and come through with a win. We weren't, on a technical level, impressive at all. We were shocking, actually. But I actually quite like the ideas from a tactical perspective. And I actually quite like that Arsenal went a little bit more punch for punch in this game. And I think we get one or two passes right, like Calafiori's underlap where Martinelli put him in, but he was slightly offside. There were 2 or 3 opportunities where Ødegaard should have played a better pass. Gyökeres got down the channels once or twice, could have done a bit better. Martinelli gave the ball away in really sloppy areas. There are a few moments where I just thought, you just get 1 or 2 of those right, and there's another goal in there. And actually, in the 95th minute or whatever, I think Madueke should have scored, but Bruno got a touch. Like, I don't think it was an impressive performance, but I don't think it was Arsenal just doing the same old, not park the bus, but, let's soak it up, take the 1-0 and off we go. I think we tried to be more direct. It just didn't really come off. But the intention was there.
Problem in itself, though. Because
but did you expect a change in style to come through day one at Old Trafford, opening day of the season?
I expected more intent in and around the box.
But I think we had that intent. I think the intent was fully there. We just
neither of our strikers had a shot. Neither of our strikers had a shot. First time Gyökeres hasn't had a shot since he was at Coventry. Havertz comes on and we say he done well, and I think he was better. But when we talk of better, we talk about everything but striking. When we talk about Martinelli was good, again, we're going to do the same thing and say he worked hard, he got back. This new season was meant to bring about new hope in terms of the attack. And as much as I agree, we're not playing like for like last season in terms of the way we transition, and there is something different there. Our midfield against theirs, we should have shat on them, and we didn't. And that is the key to the transition. So as much as I get what you're saying, none of it bared fruit because their keeper had nothing to do. And aside from the set piece, we didn't create one chance good enough. Maybe the Saka one right at the end that got blocked by De Ligt off his toe. We didn't create, and that was the 91st minute. We didn't create one good enough chance to say we deserved the goal there.
That was what's concerning for me. Over the 90 minutes, I genuinely can't think of a time where we fashioned a really good opening for a goal. I can't think of one.
I think the Gyökeres one was a good opening, and he messed it up single-handedly. But that was the only opening he got. He should have done much better. When he got the ball in space, I thought, yes, all I need from you here is a little shimmy, make a yard of space, and have a good shot on goal. And it just got stuck beneath him. It's just typical, right? But aside from that, I'm struggling to,
you're spot on. But I felt it's hard to explain because ultimately we didn't do it. But I felt like we were one good pass away from 7 great chances, but we just kept messing up that pass. But I think that was because Arsenal actually put themselves in a position where Saka was higher up the pitch. We're so used to him dropping so far back to support Ben White, but he was way higher. Arsenal with Rice and Ødegaard, normally it might just be Ødegaard with Gyökeres pressing together, but Rice was right up there as a 3. They were pressing really, really high. How often did we see Saliba, White, Gabriel, Calafiori just fighting for their lives on an individual basis to cover for each other? Zubimendi quite often. And guys, they press Zubimendi like you wouldn't believe. They're 2-3 men around him every time. So we had to find other ways to play out. Like Man United were like in their own right, good on the day. They pressed well. They moved the ball really quickly. But actually, I thought Arsenal... Look, okay, let me make this really clear. I don't think we played well, but I'm encouraged that the intention was to actually play some basketball for once. And I'm not used to that. I'm used to Arsenal being very methodical as we play our way up the thirds, and then actually being a kind of at least a good mid-block in these away games to ensure we're not played through easily. But I think that was Arsenal, or Arteta, should I say, actually tweaking it, opening the game up and going, I'm going to trust my players to get me through this. And on an attacking level, they didn't. But on a defensive level, they did. Jova and the set pieces came through. Once again, what we're doing there is working for another season, which is great. But I don't resist anyone that says we played badly. I agree, we didn't play well, but I do resist people that say, well, it was just the same. Arsenal just kind of set piece, defended, and we found. I don't think it was the same. I think the intention was to do something very different. What's that? Sorry?
Chance creation. It was.
Yeah, but that's because it was poor play from like Martinelli for one. We had a 3-on-2 situation in the first half, and he played the ball. I think it was to Odegaard. It was too far. It was too hard, and it goes out. If a better pass, and we're in. Odegaard, when Jim, I can't believe he was left 2-on-2. He's made a 20-yard run, a better pass. We're 3-on-2 again, and he misplaces the pass, and then we're caught. I thought there was 3 or 4 occasions that happened in the game. We got ourselves. We didn't execute the right pass. That's something that we can improve on. I get what the guys are saying, that we didn't create anything from that. And that's because it was poor. I have to say, the front three I thought were poor. You know what I mean? Let's get it right. You know what I mean? They just didn't do.
I didn't think Saka was terrible, by the way. I
by
don't
his
agree
standards,
with
he
that.
was, James. By his standards,
he was awful.
Yeah,
He wasn't awful, man.
He didn't go through.
Yeah, I genuinely thought.
Well,
sorry, Lee.
No,
I thought he was anonymous, which is fine. But then when he did get on the ball, I can't remember one thing he did that was productive and progressive.
Well,
Not one.
We nearly put on a plate for Madueke at the end, bar a touch from Bruno Fernandes.
Do you know what? Right,
that was he spun 2 players and Bema on the counter in the 96th minute. I mean, granted, it was the 96th minute.
He was fouled a couple of times and never got the ball. But there was one time at the end. I don't know if you remember it. Right at the end.
I'm not saying he was good. Again, guys, I'm not saying any of this was good. I don't understand this.
No.
Negativity towards the.
It was right at the end of the game. Right at the end of the game, last minute, we have a 4-on-1 situation, and the pass is so poor. That was the stick. You know what I mean? Could have run it into the goal, but I just think that our final ball, whether you look at it or not, was poor all round. You know what I mean? When we got into the final third, Luke Shaw, James, you will probably know this. Saka's had him on toast on many occasions, didn't yesterday?
But to be fair, it was more the battle with Dorgu, wasn't it? But I know what you mean. Even when he was 1-on-1 with Shaw.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Don't get me wrong, they do double up on him and all that. But I felt on it, he wasn't at his game yesterday. But listen, Saka's entitled to have an off day, guys. You know what I mean? He's every now and then he's gonna. You know what I mean? And
I think everybody was poor individually, so I think we can write it off as first game. It's really important with Liverpool and City putting up 4 goals each and 3 points. We just had to just not be behind, right? So we got the 3 points, we've got the clean sheet. I think we moved. There are things I'm concerned about for the Leeds game, which we'll chat about in the next pod maybe as we preview that game. But overall, we got the 3 points. We got out of there. Is everybody convinced that goal was legit?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a goal.
We were discussing in the studio. If you look at the highlights the replay, I'm 50-50. I think Saliba is fouling Mount and Bayindir. Now look, everyone's saying the keeper's got to be stronger, and that's possibly true. Look at the goal again. You can see the entire back of Mason Mount. You can see his entire back. His shirt is almost over his head. He's definitely fouling Mount. Now, is he fouling Bayindir? That's the question. But I think he simultaneously got one arm on Mount's shirt and the other arm, he's kind of blocking Bayindir. And I'm not convinced it's not a legit goal. But as I always do, guys, if that's the other way around, I'm not sure we're happy.
I take those. I think the game's gone if you can't have a bit of rough and tumble in the box anymore. I don't really. But that's my old school thinking.
But yeah, again, what we think should be a foul.
I couldn't imagine the game, because basically the game's going in a direction where I could imagine in 10 years when corners are coming in, no one's touching anyone. it's turned into more ballet than football. It's not a contact sport anymore. Do you know what I mean? I like that bit of physicality. You know, that's why you get the right
do
men on
too.
the right men and so on.
I do too. I just know that our fan base are just babies. And I know that for a fact that if that's the other way around, or if that happens to us in 3 weeks' time, we're going to be calling conspiracy theories. So I'm just saying we've got to be fair. I'm not convinced it is a foul. I'm asking, are we convinced it's definitely not a foul?
Not
That's
for
all.
me. And
It's not a foul.
you could be nitpicky and go that Gabriel's being pulled, had his shirt being pulled as he goes in there, which they're supposed to be picking up on. Like, you know what I mean? Listen, there's always going to be contact in the box. You know what I mean? You can't have
But
a
it's not
corner.
contact.
When,
It's not contact.
well,
He's got his shirt almost off his body.
but he's pulling him as well. Like, you know what I mean? I don't see too much wrong in there. Like, the goalkeeper should just punch that out. Really,
Okay.
you know what I mean? If I'll be honest, like, you know.
Did you guys not think this was more open? This was more punch for punch? The problem is all our punches missed.
I think that's the issue. You keep on saying punch for punch, and I'm thinking if that's punch for punch, we're gonna get knocked out soon.
Yeah.
Because if that's our punches, they barely left with a bruise.
Okay, but if you're right, but haven't we asked for an evolution tactically? We're asking for Arsenal to do something different, and I think that was quite a step away from what we normally do in these games. That was quite. I'm not saying, by the way, Arsenal have gone away from home and got their foot on the ball before. I remember wins at Stamford Bridge, Tottenham last season, first half. Arsenal can get on their foot on the ball and play, and I think from a possession perspective, Arteta and the players will be really disappointed with that because they didn't show their guard and class. So I agree with all that. And to state one more time, I don't think that was a good performance, but it was more direct. It was faster. It was more you attack, we attack. And it left Arsenal more vulnerable. But that's where I think you saw, because I keep hearing Jordan say, everyone was terrible. But on an individual level, like Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, White, Timber when he came on, like Zubimendi, Rice, they just had to Erdegaard, who made so many errors, but they all just had to work so hard and sprint back so often just to fight for every moment. And that counts towards a good performance for me.
I think your context. You go.
But if you're okay, so you're right. The way we went to transition was different, right? I think Calafiori starting said a lot, and the way he plays, the idea, you know what it is. But if the result is the same, if the outcome is the same, and that is we are not creating enough chances, then ultimately it's failed. It's all good and well saying they tried something different, but it didn't create any chances for us. And that was the same result of what we done last season. And it actually left us more susceptible at the back, more vulnerable. So I can't see that as a positive because we might have opened up more, and I trust you on that because you're more analytical than me and look at the numbers. We opened up more, which conceded more chances for Man United. Okay, that's cool. But it didn't create more chances for us. So ultimately, it does, in my opinion, that doesn't look good. We opened up, we didn't create more chances, and we let go of more chances for United. That's, in my opinion, you do that against Liverpool, that's the knockout coming if that's punch for punch, because United don't really have a punch yet. They're trying to build it and trying to work their way into the fight.
I think, James, you're correct in what you're saying in that it's a different style. And where I'm with you is that I think that will take a few weeks to kind of finesse and get going. And if that's the way we're going, I'm quite excited by that. It's game week 1. You're never going to nail your new style on game week 1.
That's all I'm saying.
About. Our striker didn't have a shot.
No. But this is where my criticism comes in. I'm saying it was awful in that just the basics. I thought we were poor. The touches, the decision making, the not getting a shot off, the crossing. I'm just talking about those bits were really, really
Let's be real.
poor.
The changes that James speaks of, which is true, factual even, it highlights the Odegaard and Martinelli problem even more. Because Martinelli, again, poor. And Odegaard, he had a couple moments, but generally poor. So it's the
But the,
same.
reason, but the reason why I wouldn't single out those two players, sorry, because those two players have got the most heat, and I get it. But the reason why I'm not going to go ham on Martinelli is because, like I said, I thought Saka was equally as bad. I don't think anyone was worse than anybody else. I thought they were all really poor. So I don't think it's fair to
That's that,
single
but
out
you know
players.
why? That's fine because Saka turns up much more often than not.
Sure,
So
sure.
on the days he's not turning up, like if Salah didn't turn up last season, Diaz might have turned up or Gakpo might have turned up. If Haaland doesn't turn up, then you expect that year Foden turned up, for example, right? For years we've had Saka and no one really behind him in terms of if he doesn't do it, who's gonna do it? So I'm gonna go back to Odegaard and Martinelli because it's terrible what I'm seeing. Like Odegaard should be releasing the ball a lot quicker. He gets the ball there.
I'll get that.
James is right. We transition quicker to him in parts of the game, but then from him, it's gone again. He's trying to scoop it over people all the time.
The runs were shocking from the forwards. I've just seen that moment, minute 37, where Odegaard's driving through and Saka and Martinelli are in front and they're sort of narrowing in the space. One needs to pull wide and then the other attacks the space or
I
whatever.
said that to the stream and the guys disagreed. You're right, James. Sorry to cut you, but you're right.
Yeah. And again, though, I'm keeping tabs of each one. I think this is the fourth or fifth I've seen. And I just think, because Turkish, I completely take your point. If ultimately, what did I say in pre-season? If ultimately the quality is not there, then you can do what you like. It doesn't really matter. You can also add quality though, and if the tactics aren't there, and actually I was encouraged that the tactics were there. There was an intention to sprint into space a lot more. My word, we made such a mess of some of these, but I'm going to trust that they're working on this. And I think last season we scored more, I've got it written down, we scored more counter-attack goals than we had in any other season. Yeah, 9 last season. In the seasons before that, it was 7, 4, 6, and 1. So, it was quite a big jump. And a lot of them came late in the season, like against Brentford when Declan Rice scored and things like that. I think we're working on it, or I'm trusting we're working on it, because we have to, by the way. If we're going to get the best out of a Madueke and a Gyökeres, then we need to play this style a lot better. But I was just surprised that we opened up quite a lot, and we trusted Gabriel and Saliba Gabriel on his second start, because he only started against Bilbao. We kind of trusted them to come through that. And you also made a great point, Turkish. You said Calafiori, but I'll chuck Ben White in there. I think playing those two over Timber and Lewis Skelly was a message that this was going to be more back and forth and a little bit more unpredictable, but potentially more lively than we would like. I think if he was looking to shut them out Real Madrid style, he'd have gone Timber and Lewis Skelly because there was a defense first thing to worry about. But this for me was clearly a step towards, I'm going to trust your individual quality to get me through. It's not necessarily going to be pretty, but I'm hoping we hit them on the break a few times. We just messed up so many situations. But again, I think we're one pass from going, that was a great chance. That was a great chance. That was a great chance. So who is it? Is it Odegaard needs to get that final ball right? Is it Martinelli? Is it the run? I also don't think we're going to play too many games like this that are going to be that open, because I don't think we'll play like this at Anfield, to be honest. And I think other games will have teams parking the bus a little bit more against us. So anyway, it was interesting. I'm just glad we came through with a win, having tried something a bit different.
I'll be honest. If I ain't really that, if we play that performance and that sort of style of play and the way we played at Leeds, I'll be concerned. There's got to be a different way. There's got to be a better tactical plan, because I do agree with what you're saying, James. I think that maybe there was not a lack of respect for Man United, but they felt that they could get at them a little bit more from an away point of view, and maybe we're a little bit open. But as you say, if they play against Liverpool, they're going to get done. They'll probably get done by Leeds, if I'll be really honest, because Leeds are not going to show that same ambition. They're going to be like very much sitting and on the counter attack. And if you're going 2-on-2, you could get caught out. And I just think that, listen, you can go on about we didn't look dangerous today, like scoring and as Turkish says, Liverpool have got so and so, Liverpool have got this, Man City have got this. Well, we've got set pieces. That's another thing, that's going to get us out of jail every now and then. It's a weapon, and I don't think it's a weapon that we should people mock us for. It is a proper weapon. When you're not playing well, score from a set piece, win the game. I don't see it as a negative. I see it as very much as a positive, But
It's a positive when it's not relied upon.
yeah,
Arteta started. I mean, we start banging in crosses like nobody's business. Like most our chance creation last season ended up coming from crosses, both open play and set pieces, and that's where the problem, in my opinion, lies. We found something and then tried to rely heavily upon it instead of trying to formulate something else to go ahead of it. And then that is the gem we have in our back pocket. It's no longer our back; it's on our chest. We're a set piece team, and that's the way our best way to win games. I don't think that's the best way around it.
no, Circus. I don't think that we'll play like that. How many times did Raya get the ball and just go long? A lot more than what I've ever seen in any game for a very
He's
long
been doing it
while.
pre-season, though. You're right, but yeah, I'm with
You know what I mean? Look, when you're playing against Leeds, there's got to be a different mentality, a different side of the game, and that's what you're going to have to see. Every game's going to be different. I get that, and as I said, you could be here all day pulling out the negatives of that performance. And well, I take on board what you say there. I didn't know that because you're watching the game differently when you're there and everything like that. To not have a shot all game is. He's not. Well, I think Odegaard didn't he? Like, you know what I mean? But you're talking about the front three. We never create anything for our front three. That worries you when you go, oh, we need this and we need that. You know what I mean? Like, well, you've got that and you're not using it. So that's going to be on Mikel. He's got to work a way through on that. Like, and I do think that come these games. I don't know how you feel about this. Even though we're playing Man United, I think there's too much on Odegaard at times to be he's the only one creating in there. Like, they've got to get somebody else in there, particularly against low block teams. You've got to have other people looking to create. And Odegaard yesterday, I thought work rate was sensational, but if you're going to be looking on creativity and all that, it wasn't quite there. So somebody else has got to help him out. Now, who that is, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to have to look at that midfielder, think like a little bit more and try and get a bit more creativity from it. But that would be of concern for me. But listen, at the end of the day, I will go into the Leeds game with a little bit of concern because I haven't seen nothing that's going to say. I think if you be really honest, if you're going to say if we play like that every week, you know what I mean. Poor old Gyökeres is going to be fortunate to get into double figures. You know what I mean? Like,
I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be fine.
I just think he's quite 100% fit. Yeah, I still believe that he's, because we scrimped and saved on a couple of £1 million. He's behind the blackboard at the minute as far as fitness is concerned, and that's a problem. It's a problem. Like,
I did enjoy him smashing De Ligt out the way. I thought that was
listen, strength and all that was very encouraging, James. Very encouraging.
He
gets sharper.
Oh, I think my internet's having a mare.
No,
can you hear me?
Yeah,
we're good. Cool. It was an interesting game for Gyökeres. A lot of players on a technical level didn't have the game I'd have liked. I don't think Zubimendi did much wrong on the ball. I just think he was crowded out of it. He couldn't play. Declan Rice on the ball wasn't great. Odegaard at times was brilliant, and then at times was awful. I thought Martinelli didn't have the game on the ball he'd have wanted. Gyökeres, I mean, he made that brilliant channel run and then hoofed it out for a throw, didn't he? Which kind of like captures him. I actually thought that minute kind of captured Gyökeres. He'll power into some space, he'll make a really, really good run. But unless he's firing it towards goal, there will be some element of the overall game and bringing others into it that doesn't look pretty. But there was one moment where he did the same thing and he whipped a brilliant ball to Martinelli where he tried the bicycle kick. So, yeah, Gyökeres will be, you mentioned that moment in transition, Turkish. He's in space, you think, right, tear at them, just get on your right foot and shoot, and he leaves it behind. I think when he gets in that position to shoot, he's dangerous, but there is still a little bit lacking. And some people got onto him when I said post Bilbao in my match report that, I think I said he's not aesthetically pleasing. And some people say, well, that's subjective. I said, okay, sure, because actually there's things about him that's exciting. But on a technical level, there is definitely something that, might be a step behind what we're used to up front, or what we're used to throughout the team. But what I liked about Gyökeres, and again, I think he summed this up as did quite a few players, he was constantly pressing. He was constantly chasing back into midfield to win the ball. He was just forever working, like running all the time. And he just kind of had this hunger, as so much of the team did, just to get through it. And, Calafiori, for example, Ben White didn't start the Bilbao game. Saliba and Gabriel playing their second game in 6, including pre-season. Calafiori, have you lost me?
No,
Can you still hear me? So everything keeps lagging on my end, but a lot of these players are sort of still getting back up to scratch. Gabriel, and they just, I don't know how else to put it. This is the 5th time I'm saying this, so I'll shut up now. But I just think, like, on an individual level, so I can't say they were all terrible, because like they all left it out there. It was just hard, and they came through it. And
But what about like last 10
Calafiori
minutes?
made a great.
Like last 10 minutes, James, 15 minutes. Man United are attacking us. Not one counter attack, not one fast break, not one moment that put them on the back foot. We'll head it out, and then our midfielders are losing it, and our attackers are not making runs. Like when shit's hitting the fan in the final 10 minutes, and they're putting, everything on the line, you'd expect to see some form of attack out of it. And again, game week 1, the main praise is Odegaard worked hard, Martinelli worked hard, Gyökeres, he wasn't getting service, so he came out the box and worked hard. I mean, the amount of times we've praised working hard over the years, that is not the problem. We work hard. That's what we do. The problem is, how does Arteta take that balance moving forward? Because some of that hard work has been detrimental to our attack being fresh enough at times across the last 18, 24 months to deliver when they get the ball. So I get the working hard thing. I understand it, and it does deserve praise at times. But, that I just can't keep on going on about them working hard when, it's the next step of evolution we need.
For sure. But again, just so I'm really clear, I'm not saying I'm really happy because they ran around lots. I mean, that is, I can appreciate that a lot of them did that. I'm talking more like by working hard. I mean, they threw their bodies in front of everything. Like there was a genuine
Hunger.
As a collective, we defended terribly, but as individuals, we defended brilliantly. Do you get what I mean? Like everyone just did everything to keep that ball out of our net. Even though we looked a complete mess defensively, the sprinting, the covering for each other when someone was pulled out of position, the amount of times Saliba and Gabriel were up the pitch, and it was Zubamendi dropping back to centre-back, it was Calafiori coming around, it was Declan Rice chasing back. There was constant covering for one another because on an individual level, the hunger was there, and actually the defensive quality was there to just kind of get through a lot of it. But granted, Cunha should have scored. Ryan made a great save. That's a great save, getting low.
Two brilliant saves. Made 2 brilliant saves.
Yeah, I thought the Mbemo one was a touch overrated. If that's the one you're talking about, the Mbemo header, a little bit, but
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but like
last 10 minutes, guys. They've put on players to just see out the game. It's not like. You know what I mean? Like
Lee, we brought on Noni Madueke and Havertz. We changed 2 of our attack and nothing changed.
Havertz was brought on, Turkish, to get control of the ball, like get the ball, not to be looking on the camera.
And we didn't get control of the ball. But yeah, you're right.
That's what he done. He bought a very, very good couple of fouls towards the end of the game. I know people don't go on to that, but that took the pressure off.
No, he did. He did.
That's what he was brought on for, to try and get us a little bit more in there. Madueke, by the way, you know what I mean? If that's got to go down as probably one of the worst debuts I've ever seen. You know what I mean? Like, it got absolutely skinned every time the player went past him. You know what I mean? Like, didn't happen when Martinelli was on there, because defensively he's better. And then when he got the ball, we give it away. But, like, welcome to the Arsenal world, because everybody done that. Everybody, you know what I mean? Like, not just digging him out there. Declan Rice give away the balls more times than I've ever seen him do. Marino was brought on just to see it out, if you like. You know what I mean? He ain't going to get the ball and burst through players 15, 20, 30-yard runs and all that. He's just in there to just break up things and all that, like, And at the end of the day, why take risk when you're 1-0 up, I listen, I understand all what everybody's saying, and if you want to criticise that performance, I get it. And I understand exactly where you're coming from. But at the end of the day, I think it's one of those games, boys. When you look back at it, you just put it in the back, like you've got the points. Move on.
It's
Like.
horses for courses, Lee.
Yeah.
If we look anything that open and that wasteful against Leeds at home, I'll be furious. And to be fair, some people are saying, yeah, but you should expect it because we couldn't look that good against Man United. Why would it suddenly sort of click against Leeds? I don't know. It's game week 1. I haven't seen enough of us to know whether this is going to be how we're going to be most of the season, or whether this was us transitioning to a new style and getting used to it. Or I don't know. We will see. But again, to push back a little bit, the two best chances I remember in the last 10 minutes were Erdegaard lifting a lovely ball into Saka that was blocked by De Ligt. If De Ligt's not there, I believe that's in the back of the net. And Saka's whipped it across goal, and I think Bruno's got a touch just before it gets to Madueke. And those, for me, were the two best chances in added time. And again, I reflect on their big chances. I think there was Dorgu hitting the post. He did brilliantly with that on an individual level. And there was Cunha driving through when Ryan made that big save. Again, I think they peppered our goal with kind of some good chance. There was no point where how many I don't know, guys. I just didn't see it as negatively as everyone. I don't think it was good. I don't think it was as bad as everyone's saying.
I get that. I think you can look at it both ways. I see on Twitter today someone saying, "Oh, another 37 games like that." I actually joked in my fan cam yesterday saying, "Like, if we win every game like that, we win the league." We don't want to see that sort of football every week, do we, guys? We don't want to. You
don't go to Old Trafford every week.
Exactly that, and you're not gonna play like that every week, because if you did play that, you are gonna get beat. We know that, like. But I understand the theory behind it, like, you know what I mean. I agree. Listen, I don't think you're wrong by trying to defend it. I don't think I'm wrong by trying to defend it. I don't think the guys saying what they're saying. I think at the end of it, it's you can pick the bones out of everything, but the ultimate thing. Do you know what we played like that in pre-season and lost, and we've not been happy. You know what I mean?
Let me say, Lee, I only had one eye on the Liverpool game, so you guys who might have watched it can tell me whether I've got a completely wrong read on this. But the Liverpool game, for me, they did right what we did wrong, but we did right what they did wrong. They were more clinical. They got their 4 goals. They were more dangerous from an attacking perspective, but they were open and conceded 2 goals from a 2-0 lead at Anfield. And, with teams driving at the heart of them, but on an individual level, their individuals didn't quite get them through those moments. And, that would have been more open than anyone would have liked. And that's at home to Bournemouth, who have lost so many of their players. They're 3 players and a new back 4. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you can look at it the other way and go, but because we're excited by goals and great attacking football, but we just got the other side of things right, which is typical, by the way.
But partly,
it's game week 1.
Liverpool's one comes with the caveat that they've got so many new signings to embed, whereas we've got 2, which some might say is more than enough to embed into an 11. But we're also seen as the more stable one of the lot, in terms of we didn't make as many changes to the first 11 as maybe Liverpool and City have this summer or needed to. So we are right to look at it more tactically and see what the step up is. The attack didn't produce anything in the 60, 70 minutes it got, and then the substitutions didn't change anything in the 20, 25 minutes they got. It didn't cost us against United, but it will cost us moving forward if we don't add a couple pieces. Because again, when things weren't really going well for us on that pitch, we didn't really have what we needed to change it up. We didn't, because Havertz doesn't come on and give you a goal threat. He comes on and puts himself about. He wins you free kicks. He brings that physical side, more comfortable than a Gyökeres in that department. And then Madueke is fresh. It's new to us. And like Lee said, the less said of that, the better in terms of a debut at the top level. So right now, it feels like we are short off the back of knowing we are short. And that's what I'm worried about.
I personally think that yesterday's performance wasn't really down to a lack of personnel. I think the players that we had just didn't step up. But I think we have got 2 weeks. I think we do need to add some personnel generally, and we've got 2 weeks left to do that. I don't want to be on this podcast in November, December, talking about another summer window wasted. We've got time now to rectify the personnel in the squad, so do it. I don't want to be here in the second half of the season talking about if we did this in the summer. You got a chance to do it now. Do it now. Do you know what I mean? Go and get the guys you need now. It's looking like Eze is going to Tottenham. We've lost that one. Fine. Get over it. Find the next guy. But you've got a chance now to really enforce the squad. So there's no excuses. We messed up last summer. Don't mess up again. There's time. There's still time. I don't think transfers were the reason we weren't good yesterday. But I think generally we do need more.
Yeah, I agree. I do think if we're going to play more that style of play, a little bit more open punch for punch, then the need for a left winger is greater than a need for a 10. And I haven't been saying that all window, but I was watching that thinking, ooh, a Rodrigo, even a Semenyo, maybe a Lookman, they'd have had a lot of fun in a game like that. Now, again, I did just say 5-10 minutes ago, I don't actually think we're going to be involved in that many of those kinds of games. But if the intention is to play higher up the pitch, create more transitions, more turnovers, have a bit more punch for punch, trust our defenders one-on-one to be a little bit more, to win their individual battles and kind of get us through, then suddenly I'm going, actually, do you need Gard and Kraft in the 10? Well, I say that, but then Ødegaard messed up so many passes, didn't he? Which a great 10 would have. I don't know. We need a lot of players.
Yeah.
So, hey.
I do believe we need someone that's going to pick the ball up and beat a few players and run at players and things like that.
Cunha. We need what Cunha can do.
Yeah, I
Cunha and Mbemo
we should that would have been a very good signing for us. Someone that can just do something, get the ball, just hold the ball up, take on players, and just relieve a bit of pressure. We haven't got that.
Jordan wanted him. Jordan, you really wanted Cunha, didn't he?
I did. Start the window. He was 10 that I would have gone for. But it's fine. There are players that we can still get. That it's not too late.
Rodrigo.
I just don't want to be here. I know what's coming. We're going to be making excuses in 6 months' time, saying in the summer we should have done this. So go and do it. And I know that we can't do the transfer. I'm not saying that we're to blame here. I just know that I know the vibe of the fan base is going to be, if we don't have a squad that is good enough going forward, we're going to be crying about it in February.
Rightly so. But what are we going to do about it? Because it's not the first time, it's not the second, third, fifth time. We're over 10 times in this ownership that we've got. We come out of windows feeling like this. Let's be real. It's not that, and surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. The PSR stuff has come out again. It's circulating again, and it tells you how much we can still spend without player sales to keep within the remit. We could have still went for an Eze without selling anyone and still been under the limit, both PSR, wage bill wise, whatever wise. We've got money to spend, right? But they're going to try and do the bare minimum because Champions League football is all they care about. And that's what it's going to land on again. I guarantee it.
I've got to double check this, guys, but I heard Miguel Delaney, who writes for The Independent, I think, he said yesterday that Liverpool's wages are 70 million pounds more than ours.
Maybe after this summer.
It's been a few years that people have been saying Liverpool's wages are much, much higher than ours.
70 million?
Well, I don't know. It sounds crazy because we are paying some high wages.
If that's true, that is insane in terms of how far behind we are, to them. I think we're fourth in the table for wages spent. But if there's,
I think for a long time they had a lot of established, for a long time they had Trent, Alisson, Salah, Van Dijk. There are a lot of players that we had been there a long time. I think that sort of maybe, but I don't know. I'll be honest, I'm not sure that's true. But if he said it, then I'm sure he's getting that from somewhere, Miguel Delaney. But
if we don't sign anyone, are we all going to be disappointed?
Yeah.
If we don't sign anyone, get these owners out and get the manager gone as well by the end of the season because they're all in it together. If we don't sign someone, we ain't going to win this league. And come the end of it, I don't want to hear no excuses because prepare yourselves adequately. Even if you do that, there ain't no divine right to win the league. But do what you can do. Look at who we're competing with. It's not getting any easier. Looking around, oh, Man City ain't what they was, but Liverpool ain't what they was in the opposite way. They're beasts now in the window. So what are we waiting around for? Either go and try and do it and leave nothing on the table. Just go for it. Or get out of here. And that's the owners first and foremost.
There's lots of rumours last night coming home that we was going to be going for the Bournemouth winger.
But why did we sign Madueke? You signed that guy if you're not signing Madueke. How many left-footed players do we need in this team?
No, Semenya's right-footed. Unless you're talking about someone
he's
else.
both-footed, but I mean, he plays his best off the right, really.
But I've always said like someone like him is what we need. Someone like him or an Anthony Gordon, someone with raw pace that can run with the ball. I don't see why. I just for the life
Madueke.
No, I just don't see it. If that is going to stop us getting players, I mean, it is a real poor sign, and that's nothing against him as a person because that's just poor if that is the case. Because I get him that he's going to come in and do a job and back up Saka, but if he's going to be playing down the left hand side as well. That is poor from us guys. It really is. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry because it's not going to be what we need.
I also just think, well, I'm really interested to see what we do in these last 2 weeks because you could go for a Semenyo, but kind of to Turkish's point, like we've got Madueke, who's the kind of both-sided winger who cost 52 million already. So I'm not really sure that profile's needed in the squad. Although I do think Semenyo is a very good player, by the way. Yeah. But would he have been in my kind of at the top of my list going into the summer? Maybe third, fourth, fifth, maybe. But it's not like that one or two that I was sort of desperate for. And I'm not, Martinelli started. Trossard and Madueke were on the bench. Dalman didn't even get into the squad. You got Jesus returning. I just think, can we find something a little bit different? That's why I like Eze. But even Rodrigo, people also think like Rodrigo's not a million miles from Eze. He's done a lot of his good work centrally at times too. I just wonder if we can find someone who's actually going to do damage in the pockets. Now, to be fair, Semenyo just scored a goal against Liverpool, driving through the heart of their team. And he can slap it both feet. So I like him. I do. But I'm really interested to see what we do. I'm starting to lean towards we won't do anything because nobody's leaving. Like the amount of players that weren't in the squad. Even Reece Nelson's still here. How's Reece Nelson still here? So I don't know. Could you go to Bournemouth and say, I don't know, 50 million in Reece? Like, I don't know. Something, two birds, one stone, right? Something like that. Just we need a new left winger. We need to move on this player. You guys need someone to replace him, and he'd probably be good for them, Reece Nelson. I think he's a really good player. But
the deal we should be doing is with Palace and saying you're going to lose Gahey. We'll give you Kivior if you give us Eze and some money, or I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's like you get then a top centre back.
Then we need to replace Kivior, though.
We do.
Yeah,
he wasn't in the squad yesterday, though, was he?
Kivior. You're right, he wasn't.
I'm not so sure that's a definite need. I'd like to keep Kivior, but I think if we left, I don't think we're light in that area, and I think it could grease the wheels of getting. I mean, the Eze thing's got done now, so we have to move on. But I'm just saying, you're talking about transactions and swaps, James. I think that was the one we should have done with Palace. They need a centre back. Well, they're going to need a centre back. We need Eze. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think Arteta wants Eze though. Does he?
Maybe not.
I don't. You know what I mean? I watched a little bit of Eze's performance yesterday. That's the sort of thing you need in games like yesterday. Someone that's going to just, he gets the ball in little pockets. He doesn't actually play as a wide player, but he does come off the left. You know what I mean? Like, so all this thing is, he's not a left winger and all that. Like, well, that maybe that, as you say, James, is what we need. Something different than a different profile. Something that's going to change us a little bit from an attack, give us a little bit of that unknown sort of factor going forward. Like, I don't know. the way I look at it, I'm with you guys. If we don't sign anybody, I don't think we will. By the way, I think we're done, unless something stupid
Just
comes.
remember this come the end of the season, then.
No,
Just remember
I
this.
will
We
be
can't keep
disappointed
on
because I think we need something.
resetting and giving them the benefit of the doubt all the
Nah.
fucking time.
We need something in that left channel that's different, like, you know what I mean? Like Trossard didn't even come on yesterday. Like, I don't know if he's not fit and all that, like, but for me, you know, that was something that we would. It was always last season Martinelli for Trossard, Trossard for Martinelli. Trossard's on the bench yesterday, and he brings on Madueke, like, you know. So there is a worry for me there.
If that's if Madueke is replacing Trossard that everyone expects him to be doing, then he needs to bring what Trossard's been bringing, and that's 15-ish GNA every season. So it makes his task even which he's never got. But okay, if that's what we want to do in our 6th year, take out one of the ones that's been delivering for us off the bench and replace him. Okay, cool. 6th year, it's time to deliver now. And if they don't do any business in the next 2 weeks, waste of another 10 months coming up. But yeah, we'll see. We'll be here later this week to discuss any rumors, links, transfers, hopefully, or not. But yeah, hit the like button, people. Make sure you are subscribed. Hopefully you've enjoyed the conversation. Maybe a bit too negative for some, but it's game week 1. So we'll see. We'll see where we go. It can't be negative after Leeds. Surely that's a comfy win for us with goals galore and everyone smiling come Sunday's show. But we will be here, people. One more show before Leeds.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we're doing one more before Leeds. Fine.
Yeah, cool. One more before Leeds. And as these gentlemen were talking, I thought, they're boring. So I went into the background and I done the table. So there we are. Clean sheets. I was meant to take that off.
Correct scores.
Sorry, I was meant to take that off, but good. You lot didn't carry on waffling, so I had to rush it in the end.
Who's top? I can't see who's top. Who you put at top?
It's Jordan, Lee. It's Jordan. Yeah.
Why is that?
It's better you don't see.
Why is Jordan top?
Jay.
Why not?
Well done, all of you. I'm really glad that I'm bottom.
Last day gone in alphabetical order, fair enough. Yeah, you backed to draw, didn't you, James?
I did.
There we go.
I'm delighted it wasn't, but I'm not going to lie. Let me not. It should have been, is all I'm saying.
It should have been. We've all got 1 point aside from James, who's the defending champion. His 2 stars are by his name. Yes, double what Lee Judge has got over there. And yeah, Jordan's got nothing.
He's top of the league, though.
Top of the league, having a laugh.
That's all semantics right now, man. You know what's coming.
Thank you for my 2nd star. It looks good, Turkish. No.
That's why, when you got these stars, you can flex a little bit, and yeah. I think I might put them throughout the show. Ooh. Maybe we had them throughout the whole show. Maybe that's something we do.
Yeah, I think we should have them through the show.
No, I'm not sure. There's no need for that.
I'm regularly reminded.
There's no need for that. No need for that.
Yeah, we're good. I think so. I think that's a good idea.
Lee, you ain't won one for years now.
Yeah, but I have won one. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, at the end of the day.
Oh, you bloody history merchant. No one cares about the 60s, right?
I think I was the last person to win it other than James, if I'm...
No. You won it before Jordan was on the show.
You won it when he was still first division.
This is like Preston claiming Invincibles.
I think you won the first 2.
Not having it.
Did you win the first 2, Turkish? I think you did.
No, I think I didn't go 2-0 up. So you must have won one in between. Maybe even won the first ever one before it was even called Premier League.
I remember you sneaking that on a technicality, like it was the same points. Like, you know what I mean? You got more.
Oh, correct scores. Goal difference. What can we do?
Yeah, it was a goal difference. It was a tight running, like, James ran away with it last year, but not the best to start for your defence, James, if I'll be honest.
No, but I like to think I had a good read on the game. Probably should have been a draw. So, this was one of those where I didn't get the win, but the performance was good.
I get that.
That's the table, people. Spotify listeners, Jordan, Lee, and myself all on 1 point. James is on 0. We move. make predictions come the end of the week on the next show for the Leeds game. And we'll do our final one standing picks as well. Hopefully you're still in the game for a chance to win 500k. If you got your game week 1 team correct and they're winners come the weekend, then you are through to the next round. Still got a chance to win the 500k. But if you're out or you didn't get a chance to enter game week 1, then you can enter in game week 2. The pot is 50k, so you got a chance to win 50k on this second game week pot. So good luck. It's free to enter, so you might as well enter, people. There's a QR code there, links in the description and pinned comment. And we're going to wrap it up with comments of the day, if everyone's got one.
Yeah, I'll go one. I'll go one.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Actually, can I start on a slight negative one? It's not that negative, but there's a comment from Snehil Kaushik, I hope I pronounced that correctly, who's saying, I think you guys conveniently forget that Ødegaard, as captain of Arsenal, broke the highest number of points and wins in a season record. We've got 89 points, 28 wins out of 38. Anyway, and he goes on to say, look, we didn't forget that. We actually really went out our way to highlight that we had a great season with him as captain. And I think, comments can always have debate and opinion. That's fine. We'll always debate and have opinion, but we did talk about those things. And it does come up in the pod. And I just like to highlight it when people, I think it's the tone. So when people go, I think you guys conveniently forgot. Well, we didn't conveniently forget. We talked about it.
They don't listen, James. They don't. It's like when they come for me. They don't listen.
I think there's an element of the comment goes in before they've got to that point in the pod, but we will try and flesh everything out. And if you don't agree with us, that's absolutely fine. It's not that deep. It's really not. But we literally spoke about that bit. We really made a point of it. Anyway, there's a few other good bits. Jordan somehow looks 6 and 60 at the same time.
That was funny.
That's outrageous. Outrageous. God, you guys are up.
I got one here. Short, sweet, but it's been the tone over the years. Yam says, I lost it when Jordan told me to be nicer.
Yeah, that made me laugh too, because he took it so personally.
And then he went, yeah.
Told me to be nicer.
It's nicer, man. Nice people. I got one. I got here. I don't know who wrote this. I've forgotten who sent it in. There's a real undertone of hate from Lee to Jordan. I was like, do you hate me, Lee?
Yeah, I sensed it.
Have you got a problem?
Absolutely not.
Last year it was Turkish. They were like, no, there's a little tension between Turkish and Jordan.
Do you remember that?
And this year it's me and you. What's going on?
No way. I love you. I got.
Did I piss you off, Lee? Did I pee you off?
No. You do when you don't back me against them two thugs. You know what I mean?
Someone.
I saw you at Old Trafford, mate. Cool.
Yeah. Back to the old days, I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Someone did say, actually, to one of my friends who watches the pod, they did say to me, you do interrupt Lee quite a lot. You've got to stop doing that, Jordan. So I didn't even know I was doing that, but if I am doing it, I'm going to stop interrupting you so much on the pod, Lee.
I think
please don't stop. Please don't stop. Just keep. Yeah.
He won't. He said the same thing to me 2 years ago, and then he interrupts for the next 2 years.
No, I didn't mean that one. But this one I mean. I mean this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you fell for that one, Turkish. I found.
Yeah, I thought. Change is round the corner, but here we are.
Oh, it's good to be back, boys.
Oh, I've got two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
This is from Josie1. Josie1515. James got 50k subscribers. Damn, there's 50,000 people who really want sleeping remedies.
Of course you got that one.
Of course I got that one in. And the other one I've got to say this is Lee judges Havertz on the left. He's obsessed with him, you know what I mean? On the left, madness. I'm not obsessed with Kai Havertz, but he's my man of the match yesterday.
Of course.
Subscribe if you're struggling to sleep, people. Subscribe. We've got you.
He'll have 80,000 by tomorrow. It's a joke.
Yeah. Don't worry.
You start going GP for a checkup. I'm gonna subscribe you to a year on the Vuniverse.
Yeah.
I think you'll be all right after that year.
Really.
Sleeping pills are going to go out of business, you know what I mean?
I've even launched a second channel if it's not enough for you. There's plenty to doze off to.
The gummies
yeah.
department is finished. Universe is
Yeah.
here.
What's it called? Gammy's TV.
James, Lee, Jordan, pleasure as always. Community, hope you've enjoyed. Game week 1 out of the way. 3 points in the bag. Not so great performance, but decent to some. We will be back to preview the Leeds game, and obviously we'll be back after the Leeds game. All you need to do is make sure you're subscribed, hit the like button. We got individual channels. I went through them already. If you don't know, go to the start of this show. And you'll know from there. And yeah, don't forget, in partnership with William Hill, final one standing, scan the QR code, click the link in the description, and you can have a chance to win 50k.
We're all
That's
through.
pot number 2.
We're all through.
Make sure you get your picks right for the next show. Love for the love, people. We'll see you then. Peace. We're out.